everyone, and welcome to DreamLeapers Inspiration. I'm your host, Harriet Cole. As always, honored to be here with you today. The year is almost at its end. We're just at the precipice of a new year. What does it mean to you? When you get to this point, what are you thinking about? How are you looking at your life? What has occurred since the beginning of this year to now? What happens on the inside as you're thinking about how you have lived, the choices that you've made, the experiences that you've had, the triumphs and the challenges? What's going on inside of you as you think about where you are at this moment? And are you thinking about it? I'm going to guess if you've tuned into inspiration, you are, because we do our best to pay attention to the outer world and, even more important, the inner world. As I have been thinking about this year and what I want for next year, I keep seeing images of light and both light and darkness, and being attracted to the light, being attracted to being able to see, being able to have some guidance for my footsteps simply because there's light before me, and making the choice to walk in the light, to walk toward the light. And that can be literal, but also it is spiritual, I believe. This notion of walking in the light. In the Bible and in other spiritual texts, there's this conversation, ongoing dialogue about lightness and darkness, and certainly with the suggestion that we should walk toward the light. And I've been exploring it. What does that mean? I've been practicing meditation for more than 30 years. And what I have discovered, what I've been taught, and what I've discovered through practice is that that light that we talk about spiritually is often called the inner light. It's something that is within us. I've been taught that it is what connects us to divinity, that this is God dwelling within us. And that's an interesting thing to think about. Do you believe that God dwells within you? Do you believe that? Do you ever have glimmers of incredible awareness and everything seems to kind of fall in line? And how did that happen? I believe those glimmers occur when we are in alignment with God. And that alignment, based upon everything I've been taught and experienced, is that it comes from inside. And so, yes, there's the sense of walk in the light. If there's a pool of light, walk toward that. If there's the North Star, you walk toward that. But what about that inner North Star? And how much do you pay attention to it? I have been meditating for more than 30 years, and sometimes I'm more disciplined than others. When I honor my regular meditation practice, everything seems to be better. When I get busy or distracted or anything that stands in the way of me honoring that regular daily practice, I feel it. I feel kind of off. And why am I feeling off? What just happened? And I see that it's so easy to blame somebody else, blame circumstances, and it can really knock you off of your game, knock you off of your center. And you can falsely believe that whatever's going on is somebody else's fault. It is because of this that this is happening. It is because of that that misfortune has come my way. And I'm not suggesting that circumstances aren't real in our lives, but how we view them, how we experience them, how we live through them, I think has everything to do with how aligned we are with the divinity within. I really, really believe that. And I can give you an example of something that recently happened. I'm pretty sure I shared it with you in the past couple of weeks, but one of my dearest friends passed away, Walter Green. And I didn't talk to him every day, but we talked a lot. We worked together for more than 30 years on different projects through the lens of and uh, it was an unexpected passing. He was not ill to anyone's knowledge. And so, context, why am I telling you this? Death is part of life. People die. We know this. This is for all of us will die, and people we love die. When it's somebody close to us, there's a processing that happens in order for us to kind of realign with the fact that this person who was so dear to us is gone, at least on the physical plane. And while I have definitely had sad moments, what I've had more of is remembering moments of light, of lightness, of joy that I shared with my friend and that others shared with him. There's something beautiful about that. And I am so incredibly grateful for having this experience, for being able to very naturally have bursts of light around my memory of my friend because it makes the tenderness a little bit easier to manage. It makes the sorrow much gentler than it could be. And I think it's the attitude that I have been taking toward my friend's passing and because we had many wonderful experiences just remembering them. And so it feels like walking in the light with my memory of him. Why do I mention this? Because I use examples all the time to try to make sense of the things that we go through. You know, uh, this broadcast, Dream Leapers Inspiration, I created during COVID because we were all isolated and it just felt I felt so disconnected. And I talked to other people who did too. And somehow being connected in this way and connecting to the heart is soothing, or it has been soothing for me for now, what is this, 4+ years. Thinking about transitions when people pass and how to experience the love and joy and light of the relationship that we had with those people is being able to do that, I think is a blessing. It certainly is for me right now. And I'm hoping that if you are suffering loss or any kind of sorrow, I mean, we all have all of the experiences. Every day is not naturally perfect in terms of everything is going the way we want it to, but it's how we deal with it and what choices we make. How how can you walk in the light when something negative is happening? How can you stay in that space or come back to that space if you get rattled? How how can you find the light if you are consumed with fear or negativity or despondency? I talked to another friend yesterday who is struggling financially. He lost his job more than a year ago, and you can imagine more than a year ago, and has been looking, and it's been tough. He hasn't been able to find anything. And so the bills are piling up. The responsibilities are feeling burdensome. This is a man of faith, but even a person of faith, it doesn't mean that you don't go through hard times. And he said sometimes he just gets like his mind feels like it's overcome with so many thoughts and worries. And so I said, well, you can't get stuck. And he's like, of course not. Much easier said than done, right? When you don't see a way out, when it feels like there's darkness everywhere, finding the light can be tough. Praying helps, meditating helps, remembering that God exists, that God is here, and as I believe that God dwells within each one of us. Hopefully that can provide a salve, spiritual salve, when everything seems to be falling apart. But it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to see the light. It's hard to see the goodness when there seems to be a lot of darkness around. And I say this having had the experience many times. Uncertainty can make you afraid. Uh, when your world feels like it's shrinking, your options feel like they're shrinking. When things are not going the way that you would like for them to go, you can get contracted. And I've had moments when I've really felt the darkness, and it can be hard to find the light when you feel shrouded in darkness. It can feel it honestly, it can feel like you don't even want to. You just there's a melancholy that can feel comfortable. And so I want to say, please do not allow that to be your state. If you feel melancholy, if you feel less than, if you feel worried, if you feel afraid, if you feel hurt, any of those emotions, don't let them take over. Please don't let them take over. Even when you can't imagine how to move forward, like my friend says, God is good. Even when you can't see it, you have to believe it. So let's look at the quote that I found that explores the light. It says, light in your mind is truth. Light in your heart is knowledge. Light in your soul is wisdom. Light in your life is God. Isn't that beautiful? This is from Machona Dilwayo. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I looked him up. I find these quotes everywhere. And what an interesting name. So I looked him up. He is Zimbabwean through Canada, and a young man who is a philosopher. He's written a number of books. And this quote I just thought was really powerful. So let's unpack it. Light in your mind is truth. Think about that. When you shine a light on your thoughts and the information that is coming to you and through you, when there's a light shining on it and you can really see, Delwayo says, that's truth. Light in your mind is truth. And right now we live in a culture where we can't even be sure what truth is, how to figure it out, because there's so much misinformation and disinformation. He says, light in your mind is truth. And then going deeper, light in your heart is knowledge. So there's truth, and then the discernment, the experience Knowledge. Light in your heart is knowledge. Do you trust your heart? The knowledge is in your heart? Do you find yourself doing that, or do you ignore your heart? What does your heart tell you about whatever is happening in your world? Listen. Knowledge is there. Light in your soul is wisdom. So that's the depth, profundity of understanding. Light in your soul, in your being, is wisdom. When you allow truth to deepen to knowledge, to deepen to wisdom, that provides awareness and guidance for how to move forward. And DeWile says, light in your life is God. Isn't that beautiful? So when you look through the lens of God's eyes, what do you see? Think about that. There's a profound meditation teacher, Baba Muktananda, who said, see God in each other. See God in each other. Now think about that. Think about how you see people. And I want you first, imagine someone you care about deeply, someone you love, someone you treasure. Hold that person's awareness in your mind's eye right now. Someone you love and treasure. And think about, even as I say this and I think of someone, a smile just broke out on my face. I want you to think about someone who very naturally invokes a deep and real smile. You are seeing that person as God. You are seeing that person as joy. You are seeing the beauty that's much deeper than surface. And you see what that feels like? Okay, now I want you to turn the page, and I want you to think about somebody you're in conflict with. Somebody who makes you mad, somebody who hurt your feelings, somebody who disappointed you. Think about somebody where the relationship is not the best at this moment. We all have at least one person like that, so don't say I can't think of anyone. Think of somebody who things are just not an even keel. There's some negativity there. Hold that person in your mind's eye. Now, I want you to first just see the person as you see them. How does your body feel when you see that person? Are you feeling tense? Are you feeling closed? Are you averting your eyes? Are you holding your breath? Is your heart rate quickening? What is happening to you as you think of this person with whom you have some negativity? Okay. Now, take a deep breath. And now, I want you to control your breath, deepen your breath, and choose to see that person as God. Baba's words, see God in each other. See that person. See God in that person. If you say, heck no, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that. I'm mad at that person. I'm frustrated with that person. Whatever it is, I'm asking you, look again. Look again. Look for the truth. Look for knowledge. Look for wisdom about that person. Look with compassionate eyes and see God in that person. Suddenly, you feel like you can breathe better. It doesn't mean that whatever was negative went away. It means that your relationship to the negativity can dissipate. It means you don't have to be bound by whatever that negativity is. Even the people who do the worst things deserve love. Even people who have hurt us deeply are children of God. Even when people have just gone off the track of goodness, they deserve love. And in order for our world to be a better place, we need to offer love to those lost souls, the people who have done us wrong, and we need to offer it to ourselves when we've done somebody else wrong. See God in each other. Do you see it in yourself? Do you see it in you when you have not been your best? Do you allow yourself to heal when you have been wrong? Or do you hide in the dark? Do you hide in the corner? I want us to walk in the light. Be courageous enough to stand in the light when we have done wrong and admit it. And by the way, it's not enough to just say, I did wrong. You have to figure out what you did so that you don't do it again. Knowledge, wisdom, transformation. Walk in the light, work on yourself, and you can transform yourself in the best possible ways. Every day we can improve. If we stay walking in the light, I don't think we have any other choice but to improve, because knowledge comes, wisdom comes, and then those aha moments. See, what I experienced then is, we say sometimes like the light bulb went off and I realized something. When you have that aha moment that comes from this deepening of here's truth, knowledge, wisdom, deepen your soul. So what happens then? What happens then, I believe, is we have a moment of awareness and then it becomes easy. How did it get so easy? How did something that seemed insurmountable, impossible to figure out, to manage, to work through, to survive, how did the answer just boom appear? And then it was easy. The door that had 10 locks on it just opened. I can't explain the how. I believe that it's God's will. I believe that it's the part that's way beyond us, but also in us. But I have had many experiences where I did not know what to do. Nothing made sense. But I kept working at it and kept connecting to that inner space. And then one day, oh, I see. I get it. The aha moment comes. Now, one of the best ways for it to come is through meditation. And I want to take a few minutes now for us to meditate together. I remember in the early days of inspiration, we used to meditate together all the time. But let's do it now. So if you would, put your feet flat on the floor. If you can take your shoes off, do. Push your feet into the floor. Imagine it as the earth. Really ground your feet, your whole foot on the ground. And then take your hands, thumb and forefinger touching, and put them on your knees. And if you'd like to, you can close your eyes. I just want you to breathe naturally. Just breathe. Allow yourself to feel the oxygen moving through your body. Wherever there's tension, offer the breath to that part of your body. Allow yourself this moment to just be with you. And I want you to breathe in light and breathe out any darkness that you may feel within you. Literally see the light entering your body. Breathe it in and exhale any darkness that you may have found. Breathe in light, breathe out darkness. Fill your being with light. Like literally, when I'm doing this now, and I'm telling myself I want to breathe in light, I feel a lot of light around just above my eyes. I'm having that sensation. Where's yours? It could be anywhere in your body. Where do you notice light? Breathe it in and exhale any darkness that you may experience or see. And as the darkness dissipates, you can breathe in light and exhale light. So it's a circle of light. Just breathe and trust that when you engage the light within your being, you get information, right? You get truth, knowledge, and wisdom. And then as you move through your day, you walk with that wisdom. And if you look through the lens of love and light, then you connect to the divinity within everyone, within you, within others. So even when you aren't feeling tender, you can become gentler with yourself and with others. It doesn't mean you aren't strong. It just means you're grounded. And compassion lives within you. Compassion for you and compassion for those around you. It makes for a much more loving experience. So just breathe in the light, breathe in compassion. Exhale joy. It's a circle of joy, of love, of light, of compassion, of truth, of knowledge, of wisdom. Breathe. And invite yourself to tap into this very gentle, loving space throughout your day. It doesn't take long to connect to the goodness within, to connect to the light, and to stay in the light. It doesn't take much, but it does take effort. So now, please gently open your eyes. How are you feeling? How are you all feeling? Do you feel a sense of calm in your being? Do you feel a softness that you gave yourself by engaging your breath and welcoming the light? I hope so. I hope that as you move through this day, you remember. Take some gentle breaths and engage the light. And before we go, let's look at the quote one more time. Light in your mind is truth. Light in your heart is knowledge. Light in your soul is wisdom. Light in your life is God. Machona Dilwayo. Beautiful, right? Hold on to this quote. Allow yourself to process what it means. Pause when you're sharing with others. Pause when you feel sharp-tongued. Check to see if what you're about to share is truth. Check to see if you have filtered it to understand where is the knowledge, where is the wisdom. It's worth pausing to be sure that this is the right moment to share whatever the information is in the best possible way. Light in your life is God. Live that way. See what happens. I think it makes life much, much sweeter. Thank you for being with me today. Until next time, have a great day and make it count. Namaste.